Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. I, 23 female, have 2 younger siblings. My sister is 16 and my brother is 14. When my parents had my sister, they approached being a sibling as a job, and they stuck with that story for the rest of my childhood. They said it was my job to teach them things, to look out for them, look after them when needed. Then it was help with homework, walk home from school, and walk to friends' houses when they wanted to go. Then it was my job to plan and take them out for sibling time. It would be my job to always have space and time for them, whenever they needed it. That as the big sister, I owed them that. And my siblings were more than happy with that. When I lived at home, they always demanded my time or attention. I had to help with homework every day, and most of it is regular sibling stuff. But they came to expect me to drop everything for them the way a parent might. Like if they were struggling and I was in the middle of my homework, I had to stop doing mine to help with theirs. Or if I had plans and they wanted to go someplace, I had to cancel my plans. It's my parents' fault, but more than once I tried talking to them about how I deserved to have my life and do my own thing too. And then I moved out and I would get calls all the time from my family about it. Over time, my brother stopped and our relationship got a bit easier. But my sister never changed. She would call and tell me she wanted to stay the weekend with me, or she wanted me to take her to a concert, or that mom and dad told her I was supposed to take her shopping, or that she saw something in the store and I had to buy it for her. I told her twice in the last 2 years that I was not going to drop everything and do what she wanted, and she needed to get better at asking for this stuff. When I spoke to my parents, they said it was my obligation as a big sister to do these things, so they were no help. My sister got invited to some fake prom with a boyfriend because prom wasn't going ahead in her school this year. She calls and tells me she needs me to take her dress shopping, that she knows the dress she wants and everything, and that I need to bring $300. I tell her no. She ignores me and tells me they want to stay at my place after this prom, and that I need to give her a key to my place to make it easier. I cut her off and told her no, none of this is happening. She whines and I tell her whining won't change it. She then tells me it's not fair, and I owe her this. I snapped. I told her I'm not a parent, and I don't owe her a damn thing. That she does not get to make demands of me because I'm older, because this is not some job like our parents always said. And if she can't accept that, then she needs to stop calling me. I'm the a-hole in this according to my parents and sister. Parents read me the riot act, or started to, and I hung up. They are still pissed 5 weeks later. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, OP. Taking care of your siblings was never your job. Your parents just wanted free babysitting and more time to themselves. It's a shame that they take advantage of you that way. For them to continue saying that now is just insane. I mean, why would you pay $300 for your sister? It's not your job to clothe your siblings. That's your parents' job. And your apartment is not a hotel. Her demands are outrageous. Your sister is only upset because she's not getting everything she wants without having to work for it. Your parents are only upset because now they have to do work to raise their children. I'm glad you escaped and finally called bullshit on this. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Your parents, on the other hand, are. Look up parentification. They dropped their responsibility onto you. Your sister has unfortunately had this normalized for her, and this is still more on your parents than her, but she needs to have her eyes opened. And you giving her the truth on what is good for her, not being an a-hole. Not the a-hole. Take it from someone who allowed this behavior to continue for too long. If you don't put your foot down now, it will never stop. Somehow it was decided that oldest siblings are by proxy parents, and because of that relationship, become strained and forced. In my case, I had enough of parenting my sibling as a younger girl that I don't want much to do with raising any more children as an adult. Not the a-hole. Your sister needs to realize her life was not normal and this was the parents' job all along, not the older siblings. At least your brother seemed to have realized that. If she had other role models in her life, Like if all her friends had older siblings and saw it was actually their parents that did everything for them and not their older siblings, should get a wake-up call and see what she went through was not normal in a family. But if all her friends are taking care of their younger siblings, this may be reinforcing her view on what families are. She may not realize that maybe their older siblings take them out because they want to, and they are friends and have something in common, not because they are forced to by their parents. Story 2. I'm 19 female, and recently I don't know how to feel about my choices. My dad had asked me through the phone if I would help him with a mortgage loan, which I said yes, since he wouldn't stop bugging me, and at the time I was training for the military. I decided to say yes so he would stop calling me about it while I was in training, since it was just stressing me out more. When I came back home, I got endless calls about the loan and made it clear in the first month of being home I wanted nothing to do with it. He said it was fine, he didn't need my help anymore, and would just ask my brother to help him. Weeks later, he told me they couldn't approve his loan because my brother's employment was under a temporary position. So my dad once again started bugging me about this loan. He started getting all my information pulled, but in the end, he needed my approval for a verification of employment from the military, which I refused. He then told me how I don't care about the family, and he doesn't even know if I love them. Afterward, I was kicked out of the house. Since then, he has only contacted me 2 times. One, a phone call saying I'm ungrateful to the people who raised me. They did not raise me. And how he loves me but will never forgive me. The second were messages telling me how I ruined my family's life, and if I apologized, we could proceed with the loan. The other message was asking what my credit score was and how he needed a co-signer. I'm having mixed feelings about the whole situation. I understand I said yes initially, but after I made it clear I wanted nothing to do with it, I feel like I don't owe my parents anything. Especially since I only lived with them for 4 years, and even if they did raise me, that is a parent's job. Thank you for doing the minimum. I just want an outside perspective. What kind of parent asks their 19-year-old to co-sign a mortgage loan? This is such upside-down parenting. You are just starting out in life and should be saving for your future home and needs, and they already had you pitching in on the bills at 16 and paying rent at 18. It's like they look to their offspring as a source of income, rather than someone they need to parent and help along the way. Your father's behavior disgusts me, not the a-hole OP. Don't let him take advantage of you, because that is what he thinks he's entitled to. Now for some comments. Girl, please put your credit on lockdown. Also block him. By the way, your credit will be tanked if you co-sign loans for someone who is irresponsible. You should never sign a mortgage unless you are the primary owner of the property. If your father defaults, you are responsible and are exposing yourself to financial risk, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You never sign for a loan for anybody else under any circumstances. It will be you left on the hook when, not if, it goes pear-shaped. If someone doesn't have good enough credit for their own loan, they shouldn't be signing it for them. It sounds like the only thing they want from you is your help. I would seriously consider blocking them and going no contact. They sound toxic. Not the a-hole. My wife and I met when we were both in the army 23 years ago. I watched her deal with a lot of the same crap you've described from her manipulative family, who didn't give a crap about her until they saw a chance to help themselves by capitalizing on her success and steady paycheck. It took some time, but she made a clean break from those parts of her family, and it wouldn't have happened if she had to let them drag her back into their crap. Stay the course. Use this time to forge new bonds and relationships you can trust with people who aren't out to use you. Story 3. I, 38 female, am married to Luke, 36 male, and we have a daughter, 5 female, Freya. Luke has a brother, Mike, 30 male, who is married to Mary, 29 female. They have 4 sons, 10 to 2. And Mary is currently pregnant with their 5th child. Mary has been in this funk the last few weeks after her last ultrasound. They're expecting their 5th son, and she isn't happy about it. She is very girly, loves feminine things like fashion and spa stuff, and spending time with her girlfriends. In the years that I've known her, while she loves her boys very much, Mary has always talked about how she wished she had a daughter to go on girls' day out, like the nail salon, shopping, and taking her to the ballet, cheerleading, and even pageants, like what her friends do with their daughters, but she can't do with her sons. Either they don't want to, or it's not acceptable where they live. I'm not joking on the pageant part. Mary is from Texas, and according to my husband, pageants are a big deal there. We are visiting my in-laws for Christmas. Mary has been in her funk for most of the time, and nothing seems to cheer her up. I'm not comfortable with how she's lavishing so much attention on Freya, especially around her boys, who see that their mom is spoiling their cousin more. Last night, Mary said something like how nice it must be to have a daughter and wishes her child would be like Freya. I wasn't comfortable about this statement, especially given that she is pregnant and her children were literally in the other room of an open floor plan space. And honestly, she's only been around Freya for a few days. She's on her best behavior now, but she is not the cheerleading pageant princess of her dreams. I told her Freya is a good child, but it's not easy having a daughter, and likened her personality to her older cousins. While she loves Frozen, dress up, and American Girl dolls, she also loves space, dinosaurs, and bugs. She loves to go hiking with us and wears more jeans and t-shirts than skirts and glitter. She plays soccer and softball because she wanted to do them, not ballet or cheer. She went as Ellie from Jurassic Park for Halloween, while she's enjoyed the spa date and brunch. This isn't her the rest of the year. Freya is what you call a tomboy, and it's clear to us now that she does butt heads with Mary, like when we went to the mall yesterday, or the Spider-Man incident. I can elaborate further if you'd like. Mary got upset and broke down. She said that it wasn't fair that I get to have a daughter when she doesn't get to experience any mother-daughter moments because she has only boys. She left earlier today because she couldn't stand to see me and Freya, or my mother-in-law or sister-in-law and her. Mike is pissed at us for making his wife feel this way. I feel terrible. But Luke says that Mary needs mental help and gets over herself. Am I the a-hole for being honest about life with a daughter? Should I call her to apologize? Luke says I have nothing to be sorry for, but I think I must. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole, and it's probably for the better if she does not have a girl. Doesn't sound like she would give that child any chance to be herself, but instead would force her into fitting her fantasy of a perfect girl. She really needs help. No one else is responsible for her feelings of disappointment, and she's not dealing with it in a good way. Not the a-hole. I'd encourage you and your partner to be as present and supportive as possible for her sons as they grow up too. She's got some hardcore deep gender essentialism ingrained in her, and it is unhealthy for her boys to have that drilled into them too. They need to hear not only that girls can, with regards to the things Mary considers for boys, but they also need to have modeled for them that boys can, with regards to interests, traits, hobbies, behavior, etc., that Mary considers for girls. 'Cause holy shit, the damage Mary can, and likely already has done, to the children she already has. Yikes. What could you possibly apologize for? Sorry, my daughter is a tomboy and doesn't fit the sparkly princess image you have idealized in your mind. I mean, seriously, if she needs a daughter that badly, send her a link to an adoption agency. But I think your husband has the right to it. She needs help. She could be experiencing prepartum depression and should talk with her doctor. The fact that she left because she couldn't handle being around the family wasn't caused by anything you did, and her husband is burying his head in the sand if he wants to pretend otherwise. Not the a-hole.